Hello everyone and welcome to another Amigos Play. This time out, we're going to be looking at the 1990 Novo Trade game, Castlevania. Now, Castlevania, very well known as a Konami staple, has been around for a long time and is a very popular series on all sorts of consoles. However, this time out, we're going to look at the Amiga version. The Amiga version of Castlevania appeared in 1990. Again, this is developed by an outfit called Novo Trade. Novo Trade was responsible for several Amiga games, including Blades of Steel, which the Amigos reviewed in a previous episode, full episode of the show, the Konami special along with Double Dribble. They also were responsible for Impossible Mission 2, Mickey's Jigsaw, and World Trophy Soccer. Novo Trade did all these games for the Amiga. Of course, this is a Konami game. Konami had a whole slew of games on the Amiga that were licensed, including Back to the Future 2, Batman Returns, Bill Elliott's NASCAR Challenge, Blades of Steel, Double Dribble, Super C, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. As you can see, you in this game play Simon Belmont. You're trying to infiltrate the castle of Dracula. This game appeared in my world on the NES originally. It's the first place I saw it. My brother had an NES, and I would play it. And I have to say, when I played this game, I just didn't like it. The idea of blowing up all these random things in the castle to get power-ups just seems stupid to me. Boat pointed out that it was just an easy way to get power-ups in the game. And he's right, of course, but I always thought it was silly to go around, much again like in Zelda, just where you just randomly destroy stuff. I hate games where you blow up barrels or generally jack around with stuff just to find goodies. I can tolerate it and say I beat them up, but it just always bugged me. So here we are. I've already lost my man. We're going to go in here again. So the Amiga version of this, let's talk about it. The Amiga was much, much more powerful than the NES, and conceivably this should have been a tremendous port of the game. And it does add some colors and some textures in the backgrounds. But what it doesn't add is playability. The Simon here, he just moves like crap. His character animation is just ugly. He rumbles through the castle. He doesn't turn. I mean, it's like turning an old Lincoln Town car or something. It just takes forever to get this guy to spin around. And these monsters are just endless. They just keep coming. And it's hard to fight these guys on both directions. Added to the problem that you have to do a lot of stair climbing in this, which is not a big deal, except for the fact that you use up to jump in this game. And it makes it a real problem to have to use the up on your joystick to jump and to go up the stairs. You have to really have fine accuracy. Okay, I'm not even sure. Oh, yes, okay. I like to beat on this thing. This puzzle here I always thought was strange, because they give you, I know you can get something out of here. They give you a weird, whatever the heck this is supposed to be in the middle of this castle that you can whack on. And I know there's a hidden item in here. I'm going to beat on this for a while. The gang that put this out, Novo Trade, they were actually around for a long time. We sort of covered this on the show. They ended up becoming, getting a new name, Appaloosa Interactive. And they were around all the way until 2006. And they worked on some pretty popular games over the years. They had, at one point, over 100 employees and had produced 150 video games, according to their company readout here. The highlights of their output I would say would be like California Games for the Mega Drive, which was a good game. Contra: Legacy of War on the PlayStation and Saturn. The Contra Adventure on the PlayStation. They did all the Echo games, which certainly was their claim to fame. including the Dreamcast Echo. Come on. I know there's something else in here. They did Holyfield Boxing, which was a pretty popular game back in the day. They did Impossible Mission 2, The Jungle Book, Karateka. They did the King's Quest V on the NES, again, a popular series. They did a lot of the Power Ranger activity games. RBI Baseball was one of theirs, which is a pretty popular game. The South Park game on the PlayStation, the Star Trek Deep Space Nine game. So they had a lot of games. But in 2006, they did their last game, which was Jaws Unleashed for the PS2, and then they shut down the doors. Unfortunately, all right, I'm giving up on this. So, with this kind of talent, one would wonder why this game is so crummy. I mean, honestly, it's quite needless to make it the control this bad. If you've seen the C64 version of this, for example, while the graphics are not as good, the controls are much smoother, and the game is much more playable than the Amiga version. I mean, I think it's pretty much agreed upon that this is, without a doubt, the worst version of this game. And if you consider how many systems this came out on, that's a crime. I mean, in all honesty. I mean, this was released on the Famicom Disk System in Japan. It was released on the C64, the MSX2, the NES, the PC. Yes, the PC version's even better from a control standpoint. The X68000. I mean, it was on a lot of machines. So if you consider that all those machines, and very few of those were on par with the Amiga, and yet the Amiga had the crummiest port. So I'm guessing that with the talent involved and the computer they were using, this game was simply a victim of some sort of time crunch. I know it was released in '90. I don't have the month it was released, but I would not be surprised if this is one of those Christmas type rushed out items. We reviewed Super C as well, and it was another one that I just thought was not great. It just didn't do much for it. So here's what the boss. I'm going to quit right here, one way or the other. Let's see if we can knock this guy out. On the Amiga, you hold the button down to get that secondary weapon. But it's not necessarily the easiest thing, but it's not horrible. I'm doing better than usually here. I've never gotten past this boss on my first try. Come on. Well, and tonight will be no exception, unfortunately. And there's the Hall of Blame, a very stupid thing to write on your game that has me puzzled as well. Nevertheless, this was Castlevania, and I hope you enjoyed it. And this is Amigo Aaron signing off. Adios.